Hey traders, can I share a secret with you? I put the best stuff at the end of the videos. The money-making part is at the end. So join us, watch us all the way to the end of Trade Your Way to Freedom. This week's session is fantastic. Anil has a great stock pick. I have a great stock pick. I have 5 things you can do so that you will always know you can trade with an edge. So no further ado, let's jump into today's session. Remember to share this video with somebody. Make a comment. Tell me what stocks or ETFs you're trading. Okay, hey, good day, everybody. I'm going to jump into something a little bit different than I normally do. I'm going to basically just say it's very simple. I don't want you to miss out on big upside profits and potential. So you need to, if you're joining this on YouTube and are joining us for recording this, you need to watch this all the way to the end, because Anil and I are going to be providing tips, hacks, strong stock picks that's going to put money in your pocket. So remember, one of the things you can do to help us out is leave a comment and share one stock that you're trading. And I'll basically do my own personal review of that stock and tell you whether or not you have a potential winner. And I will get back to you and tell you what I think of your stock pick, or not what I think, what the fundamentals are, what the technicals are. I will give you a basic idea of here's what this is going to happen. So, Anil, does that sound like a good deal for people?
That sounds great.
And so, okay, let's go ahead and jump into today's session. Here's what we're going to be covering today. And again, I was sitting there imagining over this past weekend, what would an argument between a money manager and a IBD, can slim or swing trader, what would a conversation between those two be like? I'm sitting there, I mentioned to some people this past week that the people I hang around with and that I trade with, they expect to get at least, normally a 10% gain per year, if not better than that. Matter of fact, I said, if they don't get 10%, they think they've had a bad year. And so I shared with them, but money managers come at it from a different perspective. Everybody, wants to have, a number one draft choice in, when they're playing sports, either basketball or football and all that kind of stuff. And that not all, number one draft choices turn out to be successful in what they're doing. And it's the same way with the stocks. I mean, have you ever had what's one stock that comes to mind to you, Neil, that you went, I thought that was going to be the best stock in the world. It turned out to be a real dog. Anything off the top of your head?
No, actually, I have a slightly different story. When I was working with a money manager way back when, he was investing only in mutual funds. And believe it or not, he had put me in 10 different mutual funds. Okay, with so many overlapping stocks.
And so did you feel diversified and really safe with your investment with that?
That's what he was saying.
So what about you changing up what you were doing?
Well, when I learned about my triple screen through my own research, one day I went back to the money manager and showed him all the charts. And this was during 2007 when things were turning down.
Yeah.
And he said, my God, I haven't seen anything like that in my life. And then I said, okay, I'm talking to the wrong guy then.
Yeah. And so anyway, so I've got, it's really interesting. I mean, did you know that 90% of money managers that are active, that do active trading or active management, 90% of them fail to beat the S&P on any 10-year period?
Yep, that's true.
That's scary. And that's why I think, that's why I give credit to the folks who are online today, because, you are investing in your own knowledge about, how to invest and all that kind of stuff, so that, nobody's going to pull the wool over your eyes. And so that's a good thing. So, hey, Talking about trade secrets. Well, here's my trade secrets for the week. Well, yeah, I'll let you know what these are. Weak mindsets with no trading edge. That's our challenge for successful trading this week. So what are the 5 things you can do to combat that? Well, 1, develop discipline. Discipline is essential for successful swing trading. And discipline comes from having a written trading plan. And as I've said over and over again on these sessions, if you will just drop me a note, I'll make sure that you get a copy of my personal trading plan. And it has 4 rules to get into a trade and 6 rules to get out. It's all on one page. And it's done us very well with the AutoPilot trading for the past, 17 years as we've refined it. Embrace patience. I don't know, that's one of the challenges that we all have. Swing trading involves holding positions for several days to several weeks and sometimes even several months and letting the trade play out. That's one of the challenges that so many have. Manage your risk effectively is another way. And the thing about it is, on each one of these points, if you are doing them, it helps set your mind at ease. And so you're taking care of your mindset. And then add on top of that, it provides you an edge to be a better trader. And it basically puts you up on the step compared to other traders. Emphasize continuous learning. You don't just learn it one time and just stop, because there's refinements that are made. Anil and I chat on the phone occasionally, or we'll do a Zoom meeting together just to talk about what each other are doing with our own, with his triple screens system and what I'm doing with AutoPilot trading, just to kind of like bounce ideas off of each other. And that's the way we sharpen our own abilities to be able to trade better. And then lastly, cultivate emotional resilience. Now, I don't know what the heck that means, some fancy-dancy term, but I think it means to basically learn to be tough, have grit in what you're doing, have stick-to-itiveness in what you're doing. And so that's how you work on fixing it. What are any things that you're working on currently to fix your mindset and and improve your trading edge? Anil, what's your thoughts on this?
My thoughts are, as you know, associated with neuroassociative conditioning.
Right.
And the things are, we all have our own identity.
Yes.
And we are locked into that identity. And then something new comes up, you have to expand that identity, and that is tough.
Yes.
And there are ways to do that, and I'll be talking about that in the near future.
Yeah, and because we're locking that down at, the 3rd week in July?
Probably 4th. I'm traveling. My travel thing is not fixed yet.
Okay. That sounds good. It's funny to talk about that aspect of, for me, the way I say this, and I think says the same thing when it comes to identity, it's about becoming. And it's about becoming the trader that you want to be, or the swing trader that you want to be. And a long time ago, my mentor gave us a little quotation thing, and it's on a plaque above my bookshelf here in the office. And it basically says, I am a disciplined and what does it say? Oh, disciplined and profitable trader. And it talks about that I am. And when you can make an I am statement about who you are and what you're doing, I think that starts putting that into your identity. Does that sound logical? Yes,
that's one part of it, definitely.
Okay. And so now you guys are going to have to come back towards the end of July, and you get the rest of the story with that. So let's go ahead and jump over and see what we've got going on. Hey, just a reminder, if you're not an AutoPilot trading member, and stop making trading so hard. There is a fix. Join me for AutoPilot trading. There is a link right there. There's also a link on our website. I encourage you, take a 3-month test flight and see how it changes the way you trade. So before we get into the analysis of the week, I want to basically walk us through where things are at. One of the things that I'm noticing, autopilot trading, we've jumped up and hit our 20% mark so far for we're not to the end of June yet. A little bit, you never know what the market's going to do. What I'm very pleased about this is that we basically just stuck with our guns with the autopilot trading and the stocks and ETFs that we've been putting on here lately. Some of you are also getting to take advantage of that. The stocks and ETFs that we've been putting on, we've been getting filled, and then we've been hitting our marks. I mean, the 10% profit, the 20% profit, and then holding on and for additional profits, or making sure that we don't lose anything. So it's, it gives you, when you talk about mindset, I don't know about you, but it gives me a tremendous sense of peace and well-being when I know a trade is never going to turn out to be a loss. And that's what happens when we take out our profits along the way. So that's where we're sitting right now, halfway through the year. So again, up a little bit over 20% and beating the S&P by 4.87. Anil, we're going to hang on and we're going to do our stocks towards the end. And so let's go ahead and take a look at the indexes. I've got some things on the indexes. Make sure I'm looking at the right thing. There we go. Let's start with the S&P, or the spiders. And I'm going to coach everybody on a couple of things that you can do to basically give yourself a heads up on whether or not you're getting a reversal signal on the trade intraday without being an intraday trader. When this is a perfect example, spiders, if we're on a nice little upturn and run on spiders, you can see here, one of the things that's happened, this was nice and gradual here, then it started to accelerate, blowing away and getting away from the 50-day moving average and the 200-day moving average, which is down here. So one of the things you can do is just put in an alert. At what point would today's price action turn into a bearish reversal signal? Any comments there? At what point would today's candlestick turn into a bearish reversal signal? Go ahead and drop in a comment down in the chat box, if you will. And if you're over on the YouTube channel, hey, if you're over on the YouTube channel, I see we got several people watching over there. Hey, just say hi. Let me know who's over there. Appreciate it. That's close, Mark. That's close. Mark says when it engulfs yesterday's candlestick. And to get the first level of a bearish reversal signal, it basically would be when it crosses the midpoint of yesterday's candlestick. And so that's when I can put in an alert, because what would that be? That would be called a dark cloud cover, and it is one of the candlestick reversal signals. And so I can put that alert in midday. I put it in earlier today, and it's especially true if the price action starts close to the high from yesterday. Let me get a better. If it starts close to the high from yesterday, as it did today, that's a good place to say, okay, if it gets to the midsection of that candlestick, let me know. You can also put that midsection in there, just after the day. So that's one of the things that we want to look at with, so is it going to drop that level? And I do have an alert that will go off if that happens here shortly. And then I can go back and take a look and say, okay, what do I want to do from here? So S&P, it's looking like TSI, momentum, it's peaking. Price actions are due for a pullback, a pause, so that, and let the momentum reset. And so we've been going up 5, 6, 7 days here. Normally we're in a 7 to 10 day cycle. So if it goes up 7 days in a row, I expect it to pull back 3 days. Just a little bit of information for you there. Hey, Steve, how you doing? And so that would give me a clue. Again, first part of a bearish engulfing. Now, if it does close out at the day down here towards the 436 level, that would be a bearish engulfing. NASDAQ has been the strongest index so far. I can do the same type of thing on that. I can draw put in an alert down here about midsection of yesterday's candlestick. Price action gets down to that level. That would be an indication that we were going to go, at least get a reversal signal. One of the things I will point out here, I've got a head and shoulders pattern working on my momentum chart as price action continue to move up. A little bit of negative divergence here on the weekly chart, really pushing it hard. If this does roll over, where do we expect it to go? Well, I expect price action, profit taking could take us all the way back down to that breakout area and then a bounce higher from there going into the latter part of the year. Remember, we're approaching August and September, which are typically weak months. One other thing we're going to take a real quick look at, folks, is also what is the NASDAQ actual non-leveraged or the actual index doing itself? What kind of signal is it providing us? And you can see here on the NASDAQ doing something very similar. And I can lay in an alert right in the midsection there. So it's a great thing once a week or so to compare to make sure your ETFs are in line with your your actual indexes. And a perfect example here is the Russell. The Russell is basically putting in a consolidation pattern. It broke out above the downtrend line, then basically is pulled back down into it. Long tail on the weekly chart, indicating that this could be a reversal signal. At the same time, though, folks, take a look at what's going on with the Russell itself. And you'll notice that on the Russell itself, on the weekly chart, isn't that pretty? Okay, sorry, my candlestick, my love for candlestick is coming through. If we close exactly where we are right now, we will have a shooting star, bearish reversal signal off of a level of resistance, which is the downtrend line. I mean, it's kind of amazing. It came right up to that line and then basically fell. And so comparing the Russell to IWM, I do have a bearish reversal signal on the Russell. Where do I expect it to go? That's another question that we have to answer for ourselves. And the positive on the Russell is that it's now above the 200-day moving average and all the other moving averages. Would not surprise me to see a pullback back into these areas. This is where I use my Fibonacci retracement and just get an idea of where those pullbacks could be. And as you see, it's been holding up right there at the 78% retracement. The 618 retracement is there. I like the 50% retracement because that's where it broke out of before. And so somewhere there's a little zone here where prices could fall back into on the Russell. But the Russell looks like it is definitely ready to take off some profit. And the Russell continues to lag the rest of the indexes. And so that's what we have for what's going on. Any comment, Anil?
No, I think your analysis is right on.
Okay. Yeah. And so over on the YouTube channel, Chris asks, expecting FAS. And FAS I won't cover on this one. I'll cover it the next hour, Chris. And I'll cover TQQ also during our premium hour that starts at 12 noon Pacific time. You should have got the link on that. So excellent. So let's take a look at the chart, the stocks we want to take a look at. And the first one is Tex. Now, having gone to the University of Texas having gone to the University of Texas and graduated from there, anytime I see Tex, I'm always drawn to that. So this has nothing to do with Texas, though, right, Anil?
That's right.
So tell us about it.
It's a machinery construction mining group, and on IBD, it stands at industry ranking 88 out of 197. Fundamentally, it is very strong with SMR rating of A, accumulation distribution B, comp rating 97, up-down volume ratio 1.3. And I've been able to backtest the weekly signals, and it's also very strong over there.
Okay.
That's my recommendation.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, to me, it looks like looking on the weekly chart. It looks like it's just finishing up maybe the right side of a cup. And what's it going to do now? Will it put in a handle? Will it continue on? That's my big question right now.
Yeah, we don't know that. So.
And you're absolutely right. One of the things that I did do when, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but this is one of the things I love about the Thinkorswim platform. And it is under Analyze, Fundamentals. And did you know that this is really a cool feature on this, because what it tells you is just a little bit of a blurb about what T-Rex is all about, their website, who you can call. They're from Connecticut, Norwalk, Connecticut, and it tells exactly what they do: tower cranes, wood processing, under two different brands, T-Rex and Genie. And the other thing that I like about it, look at that. That is telling us that these research teams, the street market edge, is saying that this is a strong buy. You can go over here if you are and also then download the reports. And so it's for me, Anil, it's a little bit additional information than just the regular IBD.
Nice.
Is that cool? Now, what happens if you got a stock that needs to be taken out and shot? Well, there's happens to be one over here in Hawaii. It's called the Bank of Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say it's ugly, but it's ugly, guys. And so this is just one of the, and it shows the same type of thing, reduced, to hold neutral from a void. It actually went up a little bit, but this is one of those, this is a dog, and it's not one of those. And if you look at the IBD rating, it also says this is a dog. And so just to let you guys know that. So this is a nice little tool to use. Now, here's my entity. I am not going to, the guys who dropped off on the YouTube channel are going to be really sorry they did. This is my entity, and this is one that was introduced. I want to say Mark Longenberger showed us this on this week for the AutoPilot trading members. And this is a 1.5 time leverage ETF of Tesla. What do I like about this entity? Well, one, it follows the guide of Tesla. Now, let me pop this back over here. And I'm going to put in Tesla, because we know Tesla has fairly good, and you can see some people are saying, yeah, they want to go long, hold, reduce. A lot of variations here, but Tesla overall has some really good rankings and has a fairly good looking chart, and good rankings on IBD. And so this entity here, the 3-time leverage, has just been working more remarkably. It's got all the things that I like in a leverage ETFs. It's got weekly options with good open interest. It follows a really good pattern. So what's my idea behind trading this right now? Well, I want to grab my Fibonacci from this high down to this low on the weekly chart, and that gives me a nice little couple of downside targets. I like it right there at 1413 or even down here at 1283. That would be an idea area. Draw in your Fibonacci, magic Fibonacci box, and price action. If this is the high, now I have to redo this if this is not the high and it pushes on higher, and it reverses down off of this, this is a zone where I'd expect it to fall into. That would also provide the place where I could, jump on a trade on this on Tesla. The move from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 week move here, 123%. That repeats itself multiple times. So think about that from the aspect of compounding. So, Anil, this is my stock. This is a stock, or this is my ETF. I'm going to wait for this ETF and let it play out.
On my system, it had a daily triple screen on May the 19th and got confirmed with a weekly triple screen last Friday.
Wow. Okay. So that was May the 19th was down in this area here about $9. And so we've got, it in the green, but now we just have to wait for it to do a pullback into a level where I can buy it at wholesale. That's the mantra. Buy it wholesale, sell it retail. And I can also trade options off of this one. So, Anil, this to me just fits in very nicely with other entities like we had Mara last week for swing trading, just pure and simple swing trading. For me, this fits into that kind of category.
Nice, really nice.
And so, okay, guys, well, that basically does it for today. I want to thank Anil for his stock. I like Tex. I like Tesla's 1.5 leverage ETFs. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Hey, please, do me a favor, share that we're putting these webinars on every Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific time. And you can join over on the YouTube channel, or you can, basically, if you subscribe to my free newsletter, you'll get a personal invite to be able to join live. Until next week, I just want to say aloha, trade well and prosper, and mahalo, and God bless everybody. Anil, again, thank you, my friend. I look forward to talking in the near future.
Thank you very much. Enjoyed it.